4 people drove into the hottest place on Earth. 13 years later, a hiker found what was left of them. July 1996. A family from Dresden, Germany lands in America for the road trip of a lifetime. Egbert, 34, his girlfriend Cornelia, his son George, 11, her son Max, just 4 years old. They fly into Los Angeles and rent a green minivan. Ahead of them, open desert and endless sky. For 2 weeks, they wander the American West, mailing postcards home, chasing the wide-open freedom of the road. On July 22nd, they turn toward a place the map calls, simply, Death Valley, the lowest, driest, hottest park in North America. In July, the ground can climb past 200 degrees. At Furnace Creek, they buy a small German guidebook to the valley. It is the last place anyone sees them alive. They camp their first night in Hanapa Canyon, beneath the shadow of Telescope Peak. The next morning, instead of turning back toward the highway, they drive deeper, south, into the empty backcountry. The road narrows to gravel, then to rutted dirt, then to a track that barely deserves the name. Somewhere out there stands a locked gate, meant to keep vehicles out of the wildest corner of the park. The family drives around it. The van pushes on down a canyon no rental car was ever meant to enter. And then, miles from any paved road, the van stops. 2 tires shredded on the rock. They are stranded. Their flight home to Germany is booked for July 27th. The seats stay empty. The plane leaves without them. Back home, families wait for a call that never comes. Weeks pass. Then someone reports them missing. In October, rangers finally find the green minivan, abandoned deep in a remote canyon. Doors shut, no one inside. Inside, a few belongings, the children's things, and a jack propped uselessly beneath the crippled van. But no bodies. No note. No footprints leading anywhere. The desert has simply swallowed a family of 4. Searchers comb the canyons by air and on foot. They find nothing. On October 26th, the search is called off. Theories fill the silence. Smugglers? A family that vanished on purpose? A wrong turn into a military zone? The German press calls them the Lost Family. In America, they become a ghost story told around ranger campfires. Years pass. 10. Then 12. The case goes cold as the valley floor at midnight. Most assume the answer is buried out there and that the desert will never give it back. Then a man named Tom Mahood decides he cannot let it go. An engineer and a desert hiker. The kind of person who solves puzzles the way others breathe. He gathers every scrap of the case, the van's location, the guidebook, the family's habits, and thinks like them. He asks a simple question nobody had answered. If the van died here, which way would they have walked? The obvious guess is back the way they came. But Mahood suspects they did the opposite. A lost person walks toward hope, toward a canyon that looks like it might hold water and shade. So Mahood and his partner Les Walker begin hiking the routes a desperate family might have chosen. They walk in punishing heat, tracing lines across the map that everyone else had ignored. For years, they search on their own time, returning again and again to the same brutal terrain. Then, in November 2009, on a slope miles from the van, they find them. Scattered on the desert ground are the remains of 2 adults, and identification belonging to the missing Germans. 13 years after they vanished, the lost family of Death Valley has finally been found. From the evidence, Mahood pieces together their final, heartbreaking days. Stranded and out of options, the 4 set out on foot into temperatures well past 120 degrees. They did not flee downhill toward the road. They climbed, searching for a spring marked in their little guidebook. They covered an astonishing distance, 2 adults carrying and coaxing 2 small children. But there was no water where they hoped. Only more rock, more heat, more open sky. In heat like that, The human body can lose its fight in a matter of hours. One by one, beyond the reach of any road or rescue, the family stopped moving. The children were never officially recovered. The desert kept that part of the story for itself. What killed them was not a monster or a crime. It was a wrong turn and a place that forgives nothing. Death Valley doesn't chase you. It simply waits, patient and silent, for one small mistake. A locked gate, a rented van, a guidebook promising water the summer had long since burned away. 4 people went looking for adventure in the most beautiful, most merciless landscape in America, and in the end, only a stranger's refusal to forget them ever brought them home. If this one stayed with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Backcountry Files so the next case finds you. Because out here, the wilderness always keeps score.